Hello everyone. Yes, in this talk from Eckhart, I find myself a few years ago very well experiencing the same feelings, situations that he explains, but I would even call it I had panic attacks. I was so deep into anxiety of things happening that I had panic attacks, and he describes it very well, what is going on and how we can disconnect from that happening. And after his talk, I tell you a little bit about my experience, and I give you a little exercise that helped me quite a lot. I mean, this was mind-opening for me, just this exercise. So enjoy listening and listen to the end. It's really helpful for you if you have such states going on still.
This person asks, after many years of meditation and all the twists and turns of life, I'm now in the grip of intense fear and anxiety. It seems it was always there, only more intense now. Sitting with it, letting it be there, seems to make it grow. Well, fear, anxiety, which is a form of fear, very common. Some people have it, many have it in the background continuously. And I would say there's some degree of fear, even if you're not conscious of it. If you're totally identified with the egoic mind, you will have fear, if only in the background, and it may come out in other forms. It can express itself as anger. If you look at anger closely, you usually find hidden underneath the anger is a state of fear. So, if there's fear, one important thing is to, of course, you need to direct your attention to it. You acknowledge that there's fear. The important question that arises is, what are the thoughts that your mind is producing while you're feeling the fear? Is it possible that certain thoughts that you think frequently or habitually produce the fear? Is it possible you project yourself into the next moment, into the future moment, excessively, trying to control something that you have no control over? What's going to happen to me? Or creating an imaginary scenario of loss that you might suffer. It's not happening now, but it might happen. And many things that the thought activity, excessive thought activity, often creates scenarios of things going wrong that are not happening now, may never happen, often probably will never happen. And even if they did happen, the actual situation would actually be easier to face than the imaginary situation in your mind, because there's nothing you can do, there's no action you can take to remedy an imaginary situation except to stop thinking it. But if an actual situation arises, you face it and you give it your attention, and then you take the action that you need to take. But an imaginary situation, you're totally at the mercy of it, so it only exists in your mind. So you need to see whether your mind is creating the fear by thinking fearful thoughts, by projecting itself into the future. And if that is the case, then you can see, oh, so I'm creating those because my body cannot tell the difference between an actual event that's happening outside and what my mind is producing. So when I'm thinking my life situation is critical, if this is basically what your thoughts are telling you, then your body believes that this is the actual truth, that you are being threatened at this very moment. The body doesn't know the difference, that the tiger isn't in the room. The threatening presence is your thoughts. The body reacts in the same way, whether there's a threat, an actual threat in the room, or your thoughts can create the same even palpitations. You can shortness of breath because you're thinking fearful thoughts. You go at night. I had that for years. When awful state. It's insane. It's a disease, but nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing. There's a quiet room. Nothing. It's all happening in the mind. So if that's the case, see, okay, then you need to tackle the thoughts because they will cause the fear. And how do you tackle thoughts? Is by realizing the futility and the destructive nature of these thoughts and choosing to step out. And what do you do to step out? First, you don't believe your mind that tells you, no, you can't step out, you have to continue thinking. No, you step out and take a conscious breath, or put your attention into the inner energy field of the body. A conscious choice to remove attention from thinking. And you may have to be really alert to do it. If you're immersed in a mind stream, it could even be that it's so powerful that you just cannot get out. It has such gravitational pull, it pulls you, but at least you know that this is what's happening. So there's a state where you cannot help yourself yet, but at least there is the beginning of a disidentification from it, when you know that this is what is happening. So there's a part of you that knows this is not totally real. This is the fears being produced by my mind. Or in those early stages, you may not yet be able to step out of it. It may be so strong that you're still totally in the grip of it, but at least you know that you're in the grip of it. The worst thing is to be in the grip of it and not even knowing it, because you're so identified with it. It is absolutely real to you. So even to know that this is happening is already a step forward. And then perhaps after a while the energy exhausts itself a little bit of this, and then you can begin to say, okay, you will step out of those fearful thoughts, because they are creating suffering. And you take a conscious breath, and another, and another. And then begin to feel the inner energy field of the body. Oh, whoa.
Okay, I hope you had really a good time listening to Eckhart's explanations. And yes, a few years ago I happened to have I was dehydrated, and I never have been to the hospital, and I was in another country doing an education there all by myself and for a few months. And yes, what happened, it was summer, I was in a very hot place there, and I don't drink that much. I always forget to drink, so there when it's quite hot, it's not so good, you can imagine. So what happened, I really got too dehydrated, that so much that I was completely losing my consciousness. Lost my consciousness. I broke down, and it was really intense for me that I have never been to a hospital before. So it was like a shocking situation to me, like a trauma. Also, I don't like needles with blood, and I don't like when they pull blood out of me. I can imagine. And this is the thing here. I think all these people that are very strong in hyper reacting, hyperphobia, I think it's called. It's a gift. It is a gift it's a reaction onto your gift that you have, and the gift is that you can imagine that you have a very good visional, creative mind that can visualize and really can analyze, and very good. I'm sure you are also a very good analyst of situations and can very good plan things by thinking through every step. You really can visualize like processes and stuff. This is the gift of those that we are. And yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer. You probably know already, but I tell that all the time. So people who are new here, they get to know me a little bit to understand everything more, how everything is connected. Well, anyhow, so I had this hospital visit going on for a few days where I could not move, I was completely out of my power. My whole body was saying, no, I don't do anything anymore. And that traumatized me quite a lot. Because then after that I was traveling still around into other countries as well. And I was all by myself. And as I was traveling, and even when I was not traveling, even when I was back here home, in the way of home, like not where my parents live, but I live in places quite far away from home as well. So that made me really afraid of that something could happen to me, and I'm sitting or standing or just be somewhere and no one will notice it, no one will care, and I had very strong imaginations and that produced these stresses inside of my whole body. So I had many times panic attacks. I was standing somewhere and all of a sudden it happened that my whole body reacted. I got this, just like he explains, this tightness in my breast and could almost not breathe, and my body started shaking and almost falling down, like losing consciousness again and stuff like that. It was really tough, and I didn't understand it in this period, what is going on, and oh my goodness, it's coming back. And just later on, a few years later, as I started, I got over it. I got used to my new place where I was living, and then it started slowly to go away, because I felt safer and safer where I am, because I had people that I knew. I got contacts with other people that I became kind of friendships, and so I felt safe there. But if this would have happened to me again somehow, that I would feel like lonely, and it would happen again. I was sure. So, but like 3 years ago, I started, reading books and getting to know how we and listening to these talks, how everything works, how we work, how everything is built, how everything is actually. And in this period, it happened that one of my neighbors, I was walking here, and he said, "Yeah, let's do a little. I do interval running, like where you walk and then you all of a sudden just run like hell fast as you can, so much, give all your energy for like a few meters, hundreds of meters, like 50 or 100 meters, just run like crazy." So okay, I went with him, and then what happened? I did that run, and all of a sudden I felt like I felt the same reaction of my body then as I was panicking years ago. But I remembered in that moment, I remembered myself, oh, this is the same reaction. Aha, okay. And trust me, in that moment I was freaking out again, because the connection in my brain was made, of course, the memory, I was conditioned, and this feeling came. Now it was the body feeling, that not a thought coming that caused the body to feel that way. This time it was the other way, but it's still the same thing happened. The key into the hole, and it happened. Press the right button. So I was lucky that there was this neighbor with me there, and he was seeing what was happening to me, that I kind of started panicking. And then he looked at me and said, okay, breathe. He helped me with the breathing technique to calm down. He was saying, come on, breathe slowly, breathe, like breathe yourself out. Stop breathing so fast. Calm down, breathe slowlier, longer. Okay, and then I started realizing, okay. And then I looked up in the book, and then I read things about this, and then I really started realizing that it was the thought causing this whole body reaction, and not the way around. And I also remembered when I was laying on the doctor's chair when they wanted to take out blood, the same thing happened. I was like, oh God. And I realized, it's really only that thought. There's nothing from outside that is doing that. It's me producing that feeling. So okay, then I stopped doing that. And what I decided to do is I concentrate on my breathing and on my thoughts, that while I'm exposed to taking out blood, or while I'm somewhere in a new area and I have not enough water, or whatever situations might cause this thought, I will think of nice things. I decided to think of nice things. And this way, what you can do, the exercise you can do interval runs, and do take cold showers in the morning, very cold showers, because this brings you into that state of and then you can train your whole body. Okay, calm down, it's nothing happening, it's just cold water, or it's just that you are running fast and your system has to get more energy, more air into you, and more whatever. But it's just, it's not like, like he explained, no tiger really eating you or you're gonna die or whatever. It's just a different situation that you are not used to. And the more you do these things, you get used to it, and it trains you, it strengthens you for everything that will happen, that might ever happen spontaneously to you. If there is any spontaneous rough situation coming up to you, you will be able, and your body will react the same way, but you will be able to remember, that's happening now. Okay, now I can do breathing, or imagining laying on a sunbed on the Bahamas, whatever, under a palm tree, and relaxing with a drink in your hand, for example. Imagine some nice atmosphere for you where you always feel nice, and always remember that. And that way if you connect this nice feeling with this shocking moment under the shower, or when you go running, interval running, and you do that, if you connect all this together, the nice picture, the good breathing method to calm you down, Your system will remember it and play that program for you in such situations. Trust me, this is how it works. Yes, I'm happy to give you these wonderful tools, because I know how tough this is and how long it can go. I mean, I had it for over a year. I was afraid that it would happen again. It can happen again, and it made me really stuck in this. So, yeah. Okay, have a wonderful day, and always think of you are the lottery win in your life.